Welcome to this little evening session for some B-roll. As you can see on the left side of the screen, I have my iPhone that is over there hooked up to stream on my computer. And we're going to talk a little bit about how I'm going to approach shooting some B-roll today. We're going to be aiming to get some packaging shots and some just creator organic looking shots in-house of our products, with some clear product showcase going on. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Kind of how I'm going to structure this is we're going to go through the checklist that I like to follow for shooting B-roll, talk about the settings I use. We're going to talk a little bit about lighting, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start filming. We'll put, some music on in the background, and you can see kind of how the process is. So that's how we're going to do it. First thing I want to do is go through that checklist, if you will. Pretty much there's a few things you're going to want to do to ensure that you have good footage that you shoot. Very first thing is good lighting, whether that's indoor lighting, utilizing lights like this, or whether it's outdoor lighting. Both of them can work. Both of them can work fantastically to get your product to look really good. I wrote aesthetic-ish backgrounds here. You can see I kind of constructed one over there with a house model and a plant in the background and a little bit of light in the background. It doesn't need to be crazy, but I think just something that's aesthetic, whether that's outside in a park, a nice day outside, or whether it's indoors and you create a set indoors. I think both of those can work. Clear product showcase has been a style of content that has continued to work really well for us. So that is the type of content that I love to shoot a lot of, just showing the product in a really clear way. And then a few other here to note, obviously showing off people using your product. If you have some friends that you can, buy pizza for the group, and now you guys are sitting and shooting some B-roll together, that's a great way to also get some good content to really tie in and humanize the product, adds also some social proof. And then in terms of the types of shots I like to do, what you'll see me do in this live is we're going to be doing a lot of just like smooth camera pans or smooth product pans, which what I mean by that is just literally taking like a product or box and then just kind of like turning it, right? Just like very smoothly turning it to get a very aesthetic look on the camera. That's kind of the goal. And then, yeah, showing off the product packaging, especially if you want to really emphasize that like branded feel. I think it's fantastic to show off the packaging. So without further ado, that's those are the like a checklist that I go through. Settings that I use: 4K 60 frames per second is typically what I use, and then from there I'll sometimes lower it if I'm wanting to save on the storage, for example. But oftentimes I think that's just a great way to shoot smooth quality content. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and lower down my volume. We'll put on some music, and then we're going to go and start shooting some B-roll. We can talk about it. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat here, and then I can go ahead and answer these kind of periodically between some shots. So let's run it. Yo. All right. So that there was. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead and send this to my phone, airdrop it, or my computer, and then let's talk about it. Sweet. So here's the shot that we just did. Cool. So here's the shot that we just did. Few things you'll notice is this like directly goes in line with the checklist that we're trying to follow here. We have good lighting. We have an aesthetic background. Oh, why is it lagging? Hold up. It might be because I'm like trying to do multiple things at the same time. Let me see if I can fix the lag real quick. Hopefully it's a little bit better. Also, where did the music go? All right. Hopefully this is a little bit better now with the stream. It was completely lagging. Yeah. Is it better now? Is it a little less laggy? I'm trying to close some applications here. Okay, it was bad when you were filming. Yeah, I guess that makes sense since I was, yeah. Maybe I'll film in lower quality so that it doesn't mess the stream up too bad. Let's see. Okay, hopefully it's good now. Let's go ahead and continue. I just want to briefly talk about this piece of content here. So good lighting, aesthetic-ish background. We have clear product showcase. This is what I mean by clear product showcase. Do you see? Oh fuck. Do you see how you can see the product in a very it's the center. It's the center. I guess the center point, the focal point. That's the word I'm looking for. You see how it's the focal point? That's kind of what I've seen work well, especially with content where you are trying to showcase something and it can speak for itself. Having just a very focal point, clear product showcase, I've found to be really great. And you can see we do that here. We kind of open the box and we have clear product, clear product, clear product. It's kind of like for a couple of seconds, then we close it. And then you can see I also like to like fidget with the box. That's kind of what I was talking about here. Show off the product packaging. I found that to be also great for just like splitting up the shots. Yeah, great for splitting up the shots. Great for keeping people like, ooh, there's quality involved, right? It's not just they're not just sending crap from China, right? But it's like there's quality involved with this brand. It looks more small businessy. You can see another few things that I do with showing off the packaging here. You know, I show where the what the bulb mailer is, what it's going to come in. I show like the stickers, right? And then I show the product. And this can be pieced up now in different ways, right? This took me 1 minute and 41 seconds to film, and I could probably make like 3, 4, 5 pieces of content with this, if not more. And then here I really wanted to emphasize like the packaging aspect of it. And a few things I want to touch base on actually that I think are important is how I have this set up. Yeah, so let's touch base on that. So pretty much, I don't know how well this, actually, hold on. So this should work. Sweet. So the way I have this set up is very simple. You can see I just have a desk here that I cleared everything to one side, and then I created kind of like a little bit of an aesthetic background there. That's what you're gonna see, you know, inside of the final product over. Oh fuck, you can't see that either, sorry. Okay, this aesthetic background over here, right? That's what you're seeing as inside of the product, inside of the B-roll, sorry. And then really all I'm doing with the lighting is I have some soft lighting kind of going across the whole space. And then there's a reason why this is pointing up actually. So for filming these products for us, right? I get the best results here when the pendant is facing a white surface. Why? Because it illuminates the surface of the metal to be white, and it makes the engraving pop out. You see what I'm saying? So for me and for my product, I know that I want to have some type of white reflection. Look where the lighting is pointing. The light's pointing up, which then when I have my pendant down there, when I'm pointing it up, right? See, it's pointed up. It reflects off of the ceiling, the white ceiling, and then it gets a better image. So identify what's going to capture your product in what? The best light, right? So show off the clear product showcase, right? Identify how to establish your product with clear, your B-roll with clear product showcase to demonstrate your product, and position your lighting to do that, right? So mine's always going to strategically be to bounce off white, right? That's just how I'm going to be filming it. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of more here. Let's go ahead and shoot some more shots. I have a few other pendants that I wanted to get recorded. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and put up the music. Daniel, so HD30 only because the 4K was lagging the stream. Otherwise, as you can see here, I'm doing 4K usually at 60. What's going on, everybody? Just getting through some of these messages you sent in. How many creatives do you test out every week? 10 to 15 new concepts with 3 to 5 variations each ends up being like 30 to 50 pieces of content. Okay, cool. Let's check out this. So this is the one we just did. Let's talk about it. So what do we notice? Again, same exact lighting, right? Aesthetic-ish background. Primary focus here is the clear product showcase. You can see in a lot of these pans that I did, it's very much like just showcasing the product in different ways, different angles. I'm really trying to catch like this glimmer of how the metal shows the depth of the engraving. So that's what I was trying to do here. And then really the rest of this is everything we talked about before, which is just showcasing packaging, smooth camera. Well, I'm not doing any camera pans in these. I'm actually just doing product pans since my camera's on a tripod. But if I were to be doing camera pans, and I can do like 1 or 2 camera pans here. Yeah, I'll actually do 1 or 2 camera pans now to kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like and how you can do different camera pans. But yeah, I mean, pretty much just showcasing box, pulling it out of the box, you know, taking it out, showcasing product, putting it back in the box, showcasing what else comes in the in an order, showcasing the packaging of it. Again, really adding that small business feel to it. Yeah, like that's what we did here with these. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna show you guys how to do, like, how I approach some smooth camera pans. Pretty much what I do for those, I'll verbally explain it and then I'll go do it. So for camera pans, you want to keep the product, whatever lighting is going to make the product look the best. Or for me, I like to have it facing a white surface area that results in the engraving popping out. So I set it up to do that. And then I take the camera and I kind of just follow the path of, you know, as long as it's going to be reflecting on that. Again, this is for my product, but you want to apply this obviously to however you need to shoot yours. Different products are going to be different, but end of the day, clear product showcase. That's what I would be focusing on here. So let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and pull the music. You guys will need a pardon, my dogs are going crazy right now. Okay, so let's talk about some of these product pan shots. This is my wife calling. Give me guys 1 second here. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. All right. Let me go ahead and airdrop these new ones to my computer. Yeah, Daniel, Mac is definitely useful for the airdrop. I do agree. Thank you, man. Yeah, we have a bunch of people, Universal Wisdom, that we have do B-roll, as well as UGC, that are not me. So we get content from a few different places, and then we use that to put our ads together. So that's how we do it. Cool. So let's talk about the pieces of content that we just shot with the pans. I wanted to touch base on that. So previously, before I had to hop there for a second, we were talking about doing smooth camera pans, and I recorded a few different shots here demonstrating what that can look like. And I want to just touch base on, recap on those, give any further thoughts that I have here. So basically what I mean by smooth camera pans is, you see how like I'm moving the camera here and I'm basically panning it away. So this would be like panning a camera away. This is good for, ending of a sequence. You can also reverse it, beginning of a sequence, coming closer to the shot. This here would be like a side pan. You can see I'm like panning down kind of to an angle. And then again, this is just pulling away. So these are two in here that are very simple, just pulling away, like a pull away camera pan, and like moving it towards the side. This one here I did a little bit more in it, where we kind of like twisted the camera. And to achieve that, it's literally taking your device and you're twisting it, right? So that's how you can achieve, some of these. Then you can kind of mix that, like coming in and turning it and trying to just get more aesthetic with it, more creative, trying to be unique, trying to stand out from how other people are demonstrating their products and shooting them. You can see here, these are all just clear product showcase. I'm really emphasizing the rose gold pendants that we have here. We haven't done enough content with them, so I wanted to showcase them a little bit more. And then here you can see we're just panning back out. Yeah, so those are some camera pans. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to cover. Let's see, what questions do you guys have related to B-roll, related to shooting content? How we approach it is every single week, I sit down and I shoot content that our team needs. I ask my team every single week, what content do we need? So if we're trying to recreate a piece of content and we don't have some footage, we're going to try to get that content sourced as soon as possible that week or the week after, so we can then use that footage to recreate that piece of content. And I will either do that in-house, or we'll hire some creators to do it. We've been using, there's a few different platforms out there. We've been using Incense more. Apart from that, sending out products to get content in return. This is a great way to get reactions. We can do this on TikTok. We do this also on Instagram. So you kind of get content from all these different sources, and then really the in-house side of it is filling in the gaps, which I found to be really beneficial when there are gaps, and there's always going to be gaps in the content you source. For example, and to give some additional thoughts here, when you have a piece of content that is, let's just say in the middle of it, talking about gifting and how this is the perfect gift to give to your girlfriend. Well, if you don't have a shot in there of a guy gifting it to a girl, you're doing it wrong, right? Your whole entire video will be so much more powerful if now you have, a POV shot of you holding your camera with the box, walking up to a female that IRL and handing it to her and getting her reaction on camera, right? So that's what it's really good for. And that's what I always recommend. Even if it's super simple, middle of the day, buy a window, aesthetic background. You don't need lights. You don't need to be fancy about it. Just get some additional footage, cycle in some additional footage. Really good for helping prevent creative fatigue. Really good for bringing more stability and less volatility in your ad accounts. So those are some thoughts there. Let me see what comments we have in the chat. Again, if you guys have any questions regarding to particularly shooting B-roll, feel free to ask. I'm happy to go through those since that's what I'm doing right now. I will also use some backdrops. I'll show you how I approach that here. Let's do this. So you should be able to see my phone. There we go. Sweet. So the way that I approach backdrops, you can see I have like this kind of frame in the background there. And then I have a paper backdrop there. So that paper backdrop, it's the same as this one here. It's literally a roll of paper. And that roll of paper can do great things in terms of giving you a completely different background to film on that can give different things to look at, different vibes, different aesthetics. And it's like under $100 to set the whole thing up. So it's super cheap to do. Other things that I use to shoot B-roll is I will often use like props. So you'll see like down here, I have like a box that just has a bunch of random props in it. And this can range from just like nicer boxes to like small hearts like this. And I mean, you get this on Amazon for like less than a couple dollars. Like maybe you're spending $10, $5 on something like this. But you can really use this stuff, you know, in the winter, right? Having these and shooting content of putting like boxes right inside of them and try to, you know, just trying to be creative and unique and adding some zest that somebody else isn't doing, trying to have your hooks be captivating. Like these are all things that I try to do and I think are important to at least attempt, right? And then we've done a bunch of different boxes in the past. I'm sure you guys have seen like these before. And then I have other props like this that lights up. These are good for like background and adding like some lights in the background. Just, yeah, they're pretty good for that. And then you see that, okay, so this over here I think is good to mention. So it looks like a lightsaber, right? But this one's the Amaran T2C, and it's literally just a light stick that you can change the color of, and then you can just change and create different vibes with it. Like it's super useful for a variety of things. I often use it just to like highlight, or like if we're doing like a themed shoot, I'll use this and, you know, mixed with like some of the hearts or something else. I touched base on these before. These are just like $5, $10 lights that you can get off of Amazon, and these can also just provide a similar to that, but just kind of sprays it on the wall in like a circle pattern. Again, just good for adding additional depth to your background, kind of going along with that first point on the screen, or sorry, the second point, which is like an aesthetic-ish background. Yeah, I think that's like the majority of tips and tricks, if you will. Let's see what else we got in here. What are the fundamentals I should focus on when testing as a beginner? I mean, that's a pretty loaded question, but fundamentals are going to be channeling the desire that your target demographic has in a way that makes them want to purchase your product and in a way that makes them feel that they need your product. What do I mean by this? Well, I sell products that are applicable to people that have had a dog that passed away. In my ads, I need to like what's the desire? What is the want and need of somebody whose dog passed away? They want to remember that dog. They want to memorialize that dog, right? So my job as a marketer is to now, through my content, channel that desire, channel that want that my customer has, which is the want to memorialize their dog. Memorialize their dog, honor their dog. I need to do that in my content. So my entire focus in my content creation here would be, how can I do that? Whether it's crafting a crafty copy that says, this is the best pet memorial, right? And now it has some emojis at the end of it that really tie in the emotion, right? What does that copy do? It channels that desire. And then I have some of this B-roll that I just shot that is playing in the background. And then I have some calm music playing in the background that emphasizes the emotion, right? That combination that I just threw at you is like me approaching it for my brand. You need to identify those things we just talked about for your brand and for your product and project. What is something that, how can you piece your content together so it speaks to your target demographic, so it channels the desires that they have, and it gets them from the ad? Like, the sole purpose of your ad is getting them from your ad to your website. You want to get as much urgency, offer, you want to have a strong call to action at the end of it. You want to get them to the site. When they're on the site, now your job is going to be to convert them. But you know, that's a different topic. Your question here was about testing. That's what I would test, man. Like, I would shoot content that can emphasize the desires. What do I mean by that again? So like, let's just say that I'm doing the same thing, which is a girl that lost her dog that wants to be with her dog. I'm going to be showing a girl that's crying, that's holding her dog. That's like, you can see the emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is the content I would be shooting in that scenario. Let's just say that you're selling a product for back pain, right? I would be showing people with back pain, right? And then showing the product and how, when the product is used, how it alleviates that back pain. What is the want and desire of people with back pain? To get rid of the back pain. You want to show your product kind of fixing that problem, directly tying with the desire, the want and need that your customer has. That needs to be tied with the visuals, with the music. It all flows together, right? If you have, I mean, you guys have probably seen those videos where they take like a dramatic movie scene and then they put funny music on it, or like SpongeBob music on it, and it completely changes the vibe. It completely changes how you perceive that piece of content. So it all has to tie in just like that. If you have a piece of, if you're angling your content to be emotional and to hit people in the emotions and to sell with emotion, the music needs to be emotional. The copy needs to be emotional. The shots need to be emotional. You see what I'm saying? That's, you do that, right? In every single path you take, whichever angle you decide to hit, whatever rabbit hole you go down, right? So those are some thoughts I have for you in regards to your questions on what are the fundamentals you should focus on when testing as a beginner. Marketing fundamentals. I mean, that's literally what I would be focusing on here. So you guys, if there are any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I will probably be on here another few minutes and then I'm going to go hit the gym. But hopefully you found this this live beneficial. Hopefully it gave some more insight in terms of how I shoot B-roll, and some tips and tricks on how you can apply that to your content, your brand, your product as well. Let's see what we're at today. We got hit recently with such an annoying issue on Shopify. Shopify updated the way that their checkout worked. And we just got it fixed. Basically, they implemented this checkout extensibility, which messed up any of the scripts that you have firing after the checkout. And it's been the most pain in the ass thing. It threw off our attribution for multiple days. And I just fixed it like today at 2 in the morning. And it looks like that did the trick because our conversion rate's back. You can see it's up 9%. AOV's back up. Total sales are back up. And if you look at like the data on our events manager, which is pretty cool, I'll show you guys. If you look at our data on our events manager on Facebook, you'll see that there's so much better data coming in right now. Like if you look at the entirety of this month, for like an event like add to cart, for example, look at this. The entirety of the month, basically the two lines you see plotted here are events that are received either from the browser or from the server. You can see they're pretty neck and neck, right? And the browser events are not going to be the best events just because of all the privacy stuff that's coming out, Apple, iOS 14, a lot of things that are blocking cookies and blocking tracking and attribution. This is why a lot of people face just attribution issues across the board. Basically setting up something like a conversion API server, which is an extremely deep rabbit hole that I don't even completely understand yet. But that is something that allows you to fire additional server data that can be really beneficial in your learning, in your Facebook learning. And you can see we basically had it like neck to neck until this period here where it was like completely off. This was that down period. And then things just did not really improve until I got it running back. And you can see now we're having even more server data that's firing, which is really good. And this is like across the board for page views. Also, you can see how before the majority of page views were getting tracked from the browser and not a lot were getting tracked from the server. Then you had that down period, browser kept firing. And now finally server is firing really well, which is super exciting. I might do a video of that about that on Ecom Live. I don't know when, but when I understand it a little bit more, I'll probably do a video on it. But it's gotten our sales back up. It's done good things, so I'm excited. And yeah, Conversions API, Google Tag Manager, those are some rabbit holes to go down if you're running up some numbers and you want to like start optimizing your attribution more, your ads more. They're pretty deep rabbit holes. Again, they're super complex. I don't even completely understand them yet, but I think that they're worth starting to dig into. Let me see what comments we have here. So, hey bro, on day 1, I got 2 sales, and today, day 2, I got no sales. Should I now test more creatives, or what should I do? I mean, think about it this way, dude. Your ads are not going to be getting, unless they're a really banger ad, at lower budgets, they're not going to be getting sales every single day. What matters is your blended attribution. So if over the course of 7 days, you had 1 day sales, 2nd day no sales, 3rd day a bunch of sales, 4th day no sales, 5th day a bunch of sales, 6th and 7th day no sales, right? Okay, well, what's the blended view? If on a full 7-day view, it's working and it's bringing you, acquisitions that are profitable and customers that are profitable, that's what matters, right? So that's what I would focus on, right? I wouldn't focus on like 1 day, 2 day. That's way too little bit of data. Minimum 5 to 7 days to start judging things would be, how I would approach it. And I would be testing more creatives in general. Like that's look at any look at any big brand. Like that's what I'll say. Look at any big brand that's running up numbers. And one of the biggest things that you'll notice that they do every single week is test creatives. And that's what they do. They just test and test and test. And you'll see new ads in the ad account every single week. Those are great to look at for inspiration, by the way. Any big brand that has a big creative team. Cool, guys. If there are no more questions, you can find me in the Discord server. I'm quite active in here. I throw a bunch of fun stuff in here, and we're going to start doing some more lives inside of the server. And then I'm also going to be doing more live streams like this on the live stream platform that I am building ground up, ecom.live. It's super early in beta, so expect bugs, but it's working, right? There's a bunch of good content here. You can sort by different topics, and you can check out that if that is of any interest to you. And we're going to be doing, like I said, some lives that are also going to be on Ecom Live. We're going to be live streaming there. You can see what's going to be upcoming. I'm not sure if the bug for that's patched or not, if you'll be able to see it, but we're going to be starting to do some lives there. I'll put some more information in the Discord. Yeah, those are all things that are happening and actively developing. When testing, should I test different hooks in a creative or different angles? I would be testing, I would pick an angle to thoroughly test, right? So I would first identify the angle you want to test, and then I would test a bunch of hooks in that, in that angle. There's a bunch of angles for every product, guys, that can work. I can sell to people that have lost their dog. I can sell to people that have their dog. I can sell to people that know somebody who has a dog and want to gift them a product for their upcoming birthday, right? Those are 3 different angles. That exists for every single product. There's a bunch of angles you can sell to. I would identify what's the biggest one, okay? And then I would start with the biggest angle, and then I would create a lot of creatives for that angle and look for other people that are not necessarily selling your product, but are selling using that angle, and learn from them. That would be, just a tip that I would recommend to you guys. Cool. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this was beneficial. I just kind of started doing some B-roll and wanted to, put this out there. So you guys have a good rest of your day. I will catch you later, and take it easy.